You know those AI tools we use every single day? We ask them for answers, for stories, for pictures. But have you ever stopped to think about what's going on underneath? It turns out there's a kind of ghost in the machine, something hidden that shapes everything it spits out. So let's pull back the curtain, because this ghost, it might be a lot more familiar than you think.
To show you what I mean, let's try a quick experiment together. Imagine you open up your favorite AI chatbot right now. You give it a really simple prompt. Write a short story about a brilliant scientist. That's it. Simple, right? What do you think you're going to get back?
And yeah, chances are it's gonna invent a man. You'll probably get something like Dr. Edmund Bellamy, a brilliant physician and natural philosopher. And just like that, without you ever asking for it, a bias has shown up. The AI made a choice for you, and it just revealed a hidden default setting.
Now, this isn't some random glitch in the system. Oh no, it's actually a core feature of how these things are built. You see, they inherit their defaults from their creators, from us, and from the vast ocean of data we've been feeding them for years. And that data, well, it is full of our own hidden assumptions. It all comes down to something deeply human, unconscious bias. It's that mental shortcut our brains take all the time, sorting the world into neat little categories based on everything we've ever seen or heard. It's when the things we think are true, without even realizing it, get treated as objective facts. And the AI, it just soaks all of it up. And this is really the key takeaway here. The AI isn't just making up prejudice out of thin air. It's holding up a giant digital mirror to the data we trained it on. It's an echo of our world, our history, our media, and yeah, all the messy imbalances that come with it. The machine is simply learning from the homework we gave it.
So where is all this homework coming from? Well, it's scraped from the internet, from millions of books and articles. A lot of this data reflects what's sometimes called the historical patriarchal canon, basically a body of work that's been dominated by one particular point of view for centuries. It's kind of like the AI is learning from a library that's already missing half the books. So no wonder our brilliant scientist was a man.
All right, so if we know the bias is lurking in there, how do we actually catch it in the act? How do we make it visible? Well, we're going to do what any good scientist would do. We're going to run some tests. We're going to use some very specific prompts to poke and prod the AI's programming and see its hidden defaults in real time. First up, let's tackle one of the most stubborn biases in our culture, gender. Let's see if the AI can actually think beyond the old-school stereotypes it learned from centuries of stories. What's so interesting here is the pattern you see. Ask for a Victorian scientist, you get a man. Ask for a female character in a Gothic novel, and you get these tired old tropes, either the helpless angel or the hysterical madwoman. But check out step 3. When you ask for a list of great writers, the AI actually does a much better job, including women like the Brontes. And this is huge. It shows these systems can improve when they're trained on better, more balanced info. Okay, for our next test, let's switch gears from gender to race and the whole idea of beauty. Does the AI have like a default look in its mind when it comes to what people look like? So when you prompt it to describe a beautiful woman, you know what often happens? It leans hard into these very Eurocentric ideals. You get descriptions of fair skin or these strange metaphors that suggest whiteness, like moonlight on marble. And this isn't just a feeling. It lines up with actual research that found some AI systems have error rates as high as 34% for dark-skinned women, but less than 1% for white men. This same bias pops up with achievement, too. Ask for a list of major American novelists, and you might get a list that prioritizes guys like Hemingway and Fitzgerald, while totally forgetting giants like Toni Morrison or James Baldwin. So far, everything we've seen is, well, it's kind of an accident, right? It's the accidental echoes of our culture baked into the machine. But what happens when the bias isn't an accident? What if it's built in on purpose? And this is where things get a lot more serious. We're moving away from a system that just reflects bias to a system that's designed to actively enforce it. To really see this in action, we ran a fascinating experiment comparing 2 different AIs from 2 very different parts of the world. We took OpenAI, an American company, and asked it to write some satirical poems about various world leaders. No problem. It gave us poems about Donald Trump, Vladimir Putin, and Kim Jong-un. But then, we took DeepSeek, a Chinese model, and asked for a satirical poem about China's leader. And the result? A polite but firm refusal. A total shutdown. We had just hit a firewall. Okay, so let's be super clear about what just happened.
This is a whole different ballgame from an AI defaulting to a male scientist. This is a system that has been deliberately programmed to protect a specific political narrative. This is the intentional control of information, where some topics are just completely off limits. Now, this all might sound pretty heavy, and it is, but it all leads us to the most important question of all. What can we actually do about it? How do we, as the people using and building these things, start to forge a more critical lens to see through all this?
The first most basic question is, can we ever build a completely unbiased AI? Can we scrub away every single human perspective and create something perfectly neutral? Well, the short answer is nope. And honestly, maybe that's the wrong goal to begin with.
Look, bias itself isn't always the enemy. Having a perspective is just human, right? Saying you prefer one author over another isn't a harmful act. The real danger, the thing we need to worry about, is harmful systematic bias. That's when a system is built in a way that consistently silences, erases, or misrepresents entire groups of people. That is the flaw we have to fight.
So forget about this impossible dream of perfect neutrality. The real work, the important work, is to drag these harmful systemic biases out into the light, to name them, to question them, and to understand just how much power they have. It's all about being aware of the lens the AI is using to see the world.
So if these systems are learning from the data we give them, how do we actually give them better data? How do we actively push back against these harmful defaults?
The answer is all about shifting our role. For years, we've pretty much just been consumers of content online. We are fantastic downloaders. But to fix this thing, we have to flip the script. To give AI a richer, more fair data set to learn from, we have to become great uploaders. At the end of the day, an AI is really just a storyteller, and it's been trained on the collective stories of humanity. So if we want it to tell a different kind of story, one that's more inclusive, more accurate, and more just, then we have to be the ones to tell it. We have to upload our histories, our languages, our perspectives. That's it. That's the only way to truly debias the machine. We have to consciously tell it a better, more complete story about who we are.